Hello, everybody. Welcome one more time to our free webinars. Just waiting for 1 minute more for more people to join us. So, hi, everyone. Okay. People from Martin Chamorro. Hello, good morning. Well, good morning or good afternoon or good evening. I don't know where you are. Just say hi. 1 minute more, and we start. Are you ready, Reginaldo?
Yes, hello,
Yes.
everybody.
Well, meanwhile, as always, um, I tell you that this webinar is being recorded, so no worries if you miss something. You can watch the webinar on YouTube as of tomorrow, from tomorrow maybe, or the next day, but it will be on YouTube for sure. Well, today we'll explore Wordfast tools for LSPs and corporation with Reginaldo Francisco, our sales and support manager. I think you already know Reginaldo, but if there's someone new here that don't know, Reginaldo, he's part of our team. He helps users get the most of our tools. He has a strong background in translation and localization. Reginaldo holds a BA from the São Paulo State University and a master in translation studies from the Federal University at Santa Catarina, Brazil. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. And remember, you can make the questions while Reginaldo is speaking in the question box, and then we will read it after the presentation. Or you can, raise your hand and you can speak direct to Reginaldo. So thank you, Reginaldo, so much for your time, for being here with us today. And okay, the floor is yours. You can start.
Thank you, Karina. Thank you for organizing this webinar, and thank you for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here to hear me. I'm also happy when people spend time hearing me, and I hope I will be able to give you interesting information about the topic. So I'm going to talk about Wordfast tools for LSPs and corporations. Uh, we have several webinars focused on freelancers, so that's why I thought I should highlight um, the features uh, that are aimed at LSPs and companies and how they can use the tools to have more streamlined workflows in their projects. I noticed I'm not sharing my screen yet. I'll do it now. Do you see my screen? Yeah, great. I think I can turn off my camera. Maybe this will make it bigger for you guys. So I'll begin by talking about the WordFast tool suite to introduce you or remind you about the WordFast tool suite. I'm sorry, there is a mistake here. I had written the three tools, and then I included WordFast Classic and forgot to update the number. That's the sort of thing you only see when you start presenting. Uh, Actually, it's four tools. We have WordFast Pro, which is a desktop application. WordFast Anywhere, which is cloud-based, Wordfast Server, which is a desktop application as well. The name Wordfast Server causes some confusion. Wordfast Server is not actually a server. It's a piece of software. It's a program you run on your computer or on your company's server, but it's not a server itself. And then WordFast Classic, which is a program but based on macros and runs inside WordFast, inside Microsoft Word. It was the first ever created WordFast tool, uh, and it used to be called only WordFast at that time. And then later, when WordFast Pro, WordFast Anywhere were launched, WordFast, the original WordFast became WordFast Classic, and some people who work only with Word still prefer to work with WordFast Classic. Um, the licensing model of WordFast is very simple and transparent. So as I mentioned in the abstract of the webinar, uh, there are no different versions like the enterprise, the corporate, the business, the platinum versions. Basically, each each tool includes all the features. If you have a license for WordFast Pro, for example, you don't have to purchase a different license to use terminology or to have support or etc. You have all included tools. Um, for Pro Server and Classic, you pay a 3-year license to activate the programs on your computers. For WordFast Anywhere, you pay monthly. You pay per user and per month, but it's not a subscription properly because you purchase a number of months that you choose, and each purchase is a new purchase. You don't subscribe, and you don't give your credit. We don't store your credit card information to charge you from time to time. You decide how many months you want to purchase, and then when those months finish, you can buy more credits or not. It's up to you, to your decision and your needs. And as I said, all features are included in your license or credits. And also all upgrades, if new versions are released in the period of your license, you don't have to pay extra to get the new version, or you don't have to pay again. You can upgrade for free. In WordFast Anywhere, the upgrade will be automatic, and with the other tools, you can just download and install the new version. And support is also included via our hotline by email. So it's a simple and transparent licensing model, and the tools are have this simplicity in their organization, but they are also very powerful, very versatile, and scalable. So you can start from a trial version before purchasing. Then it's the only time in which you don't have all the features, but you can test most of them, and only have some volume limitations most of the time. uh, and then but once you have a license, you don't have any, you have all features included, and then you can use it as a freelancer. You can use any of the tools as a freelancer, uh, as a translation team if you are working with other colleagues to take over bigger projects. You are able to use it in a more sophisticated way to do that. Use some features to deal with that. And if you are a company with an internal translation team or a big corporation or even an LSP or a big LSP translating big projects, multilingual projects for big corporations, different big corporations, you can still use the tools. You just have to know the features you need for scale. And so that's the idea here, to talk to you about the tools that will allow you to have more scale, to streamline big projects and big workflows. The features I'll be covering are project exporting and importing, which is available in Pro and Anywhere. Project analysis and pre-translation, also available in Pro and Anywhere. Batch file processing, I'll focus on Wordfast Pro, quick tools, features that are aimed at that. TM and glossary centralization, sharing, and access control, which can be made via Wordfast server and via Wordfast Anywhere, depending on your decision of going all online or keeping everything local. And project management and task assignment, which is possible in Wordfast Anywhere. I'll be using screenshots because our time is very short for demonstrating everything live. And that's not the point anyway. I'm not teaching you how to use each of the features. This would take too much time. I just want to raise awareness about the features so that each of you in your specific context as a translator in a team with colleagues, or a translator in a big company, or a translator in an LSP, or as a project manager in an LSP, you can be aware of the possibilities and then explore the ones, explore by yourselves the ones that fit your need and will help you most in your context. I'll begin with project exporting and importing. This is probably used by most PMs at least, and also translators working with LSPs. Basically, you can export your project as it's actually a sort of zip file, as Wordfast and other tools do that. And in that package, you have different resources. You can export the entire project. It's the first possibility here. Or you can export parts of it. If you export everything, all these options will be checked. If you decide to export only specific target languages and resources, you can choose the ones. So, for example, you send the bilingual files, of course, but you can also send the source files in the package so that the translator can see not only the translation table, but also the PowerPoint, the Excel file, source file, and understand the context. You can send your translation memory, but of course, if you are sending a copy of your translation memory, so you probably don't want to send your big mema translation memory. So if you are sending your local translation memory, you should create a project specific translation memory to send in the package. But if you are using a remote TM via Wordfast server or Wordfast Anywhere, you can set the connection to those remote translation memories. And then the project, the package will contain that configuration. And once the translator imports the project, they will already be connected to your remote translation memory. Anyway, you can choose what you include in your project. And you can choose the target language too, because you can have a very big multilingual project to translate into 5, 10 languages. And then you can export packages for each of the target languages to send to different translators to have each of them translated. Um, then when you as a translator, when you receive it, you're going to import the project. This is the import dialog, and then create a new project and translate it. Then the project manager will receive the translated project afterwards, or when the translator finishes their job, they can export the bilingual the package again. And then when the project manager receives back the package, they can import it, creating a new project as well. But the best practice would be to import it to update an existing project. Then you can update the original project from which you exported previously. And if it's a multilingual project, for example, when you receive the translation of one of the languages, you import the language, and then that language is updated in your project. And then you repeat this once you receive the other translations and complete your project. Before exporting the project, you can analyze it and pre-translate it. This is also used very much by project managers in general. When analyzing, you check how much of the project is already has matches on in your translation memories. So this is the screen, the dialogue to analyze a project. And here you can both analyze against our translation memory and also pre-translate and pre-process the files. For example, translate all exact matches or change the match percentage here to include fuzzy matches as well. And then when there is no TM match, you can check the box to use primary MT, your primary MT on no match segments. You can lock segments, for example, 100% matches, so that the translator will not be able to change those segments that are already confirmed and verified. You can block it from block segments from being merged or edited, because this can cause problems at cleanup. And you can about the report, you can have the report as a summary on your screen, or export in HTML, PDF, XLS format to view the information. This is the summary you see on screen. You are probably very familiar with this sort of information. You see the number of segments, words, and the percentage of the text that is in each match range, and then you can calculate prices and workload and deadlines that will be needed to complete the project. You can see it on screen like this, and you can save it as a report in different formats. I like Excel. This is exported in Excel. I like it because you can, for example, use other uh, other cells to insert formula formulas for you to calculate the price. So you insert formulas here to calculate according to the number of words, and then you easily get the prices and an estimate to send your client. Now, batch file processing. I'm going a bit fast in the first features because they are the most well known, and maybe I not much of the information I'm bringing is new to you. And I want to make sure that the newest parts will be covered. Okay, but if I'm speaking too fast, you just let me know, please. Now, batch file processing. This is made in Wordfast Pro through the Quick Tools environment. You can access it via the Quick Tools button or Control 5 on the sidebar in Wordfast Pro. And what's the main point about Quick Tools? You can use it to process many files at once, a batch of files at once. In old ages of Wordfast Pro 1, 2, 3, it was called the PM perspective because it's supposed to be an environment for project managers to process a big number of files if need, multiple files. Here, for example, I added 977 files in the list to process them, and then you for each of these features you have different tabs in the Quick Tools pane, and for each of them you have two panes, one to select to add the files that you want to process, and the other for you to select the options that will apply to that specific task. And then you can have functionality that you can also do with a single file or inside a project. For example, analyze. You can in the TXLF editor, you can open a file and then analyze it from inside the TXLF editor. You can from the project view, you can analyze a specific project. But here in Quick Tools, the difference is that you do it with multiple files, regardless of languages, size, file type, and regardless of the project. You can select the XLF files or source files from multiple projects and then process them all at once. And sometimes you have more options in Quick Tools than you have in the equivalent feature inside the project. For analyze, for example, you have some extra options here. When you pre-translate, you can choose maintain existing target if present, which is not available in the pre-translation inside the project. So if you have a pre-translated file, a file from another tool that already have things inserted in target, or that you have pre-translated before and now you are pre-translating with different TM, an updated TM, etc., you can choose to maintain the existing target, which is not possible outside Quick Tools. Transcheck, you can also do with a file, with a single file in TXLF editor. You can do with a project, and here you can do with multiple files. Like you receive in same day you receive five finished projects from your translators, and then you can run the transcheck checks on all of them. Of course, if you use the same checks for for those projects. There are some checks that are more language specific, but if you can run a list of checks on all the files from different projects all at once. Um, and the TM update, which is also possible in with a project. Just that in project view, it's called cleanup, but the what it does is basically the same. It updates the TM and saves the translated files optionally. And here you can do that as well with multiple files. And you have some extra possibilities here. In these options to write an edited fuzzy, write context matches to TM, etc., you only have in preferences. When you are doing cleanup inside a specific project, you don't have the option to check that directly there. You have to go to preferences and check those options. If you are doing it here in Quick Tools, you can check those boxes directly here. I don't want to take too much time, but I'll quickly mention these options because they are relevant uh, for translators and PMs in general. Nowadays, most users will work with machine translation connected to Wordfast Pro. So there is one by default in WordFast Pro, if you don't edit a translation, machine translated segment, or you don't edit a fuzzy match, the translation will not be committed to the translation memory. So next time you have exactly the same segment, you don't have a translation memory match. It's going to be translated by machine translation again, or you will see a fuzzy match again. So if you are finishing a job, a project, and you are sure that all the machine translation inserted in that project is correct, is reviewed, and is approved, you should check, write an edited machine translation and write an edited fuzzy here, so that this is sent to your translation memory. So in the next project, these won't be fuzzy matches or machine translation again. They will be 100% fuzzy, 100% matches, and then you'll be able to trust those translations instead of checking again as if it were new machine translation or just a fuzzy match. Okay, this is important to have in mind because I've seen users complaining that things that were sure they translated before would not become exact matches, but it happens that they actually did not send the translation into the translation memory because it was translated by MT, by machine translation, and not edited by the translator. Okay, now going ahead. Now, some features available in Quick Tools that are not available anywhere else. Extract and populate uniques. This is used to pull out unique segments from your project, from your files, and generate a file with them. This can be used in two different ways. If you select here extract segments that occur at least one time, you're going to have a list, to receive a list of all segments, but listed only once. So you eliminate the repetitions. Instead, if you select extract segments that occur at least two times, then you have only the repetitions. All the repeated segments will be listed only once. Uh, what you can use this for? You can extract all the segments without repetitions in order to translate it more quickly, and then you, in the end, only populate, take that Unix file and populate into the entire project. So all the translation will be populated in all the repetitions very, very quickly. Um, you can do this instead to extract only the repetitions, and then you have those repetitions translated by your most trusted translator or translated internally by your translation team, and then you can populate those translations in the project and then send the project for translation by external freelancers, so that you sort of guarantee that the most important segments will be translated with our reference translators. And I don't know, those are the two uses that I can see. And I suppose you guys as project managers will will be able to think of if that applies to your situations or not. Just one thing, as a translator myself, I one thing I think of is be careful, because when you do that, when you extract the Unix, you are taking the segments out of their context. If you eliminate the repetitions, uh, you're going to have gaps in your text that may complicate how translators will understand the source text. So you have to consider if that's useful in in each case. Okay. Pseudo translation. You can select source and target language and have the files pseudo translated. What does that mean? Once you pseudo translate a file, an English file, into Portuguese, for example, you receive a TXLF like this, with this text inserted in your target column, and you receive your final translated files with text inserted like this. What would you want that? Basically, to test the entire process. So you are taking over a 3-month project with millions of words, tens of or hundreds of files. You would like to make sure beforehand that the technical process of extracting the text and then exporting the translated file will work. You don't want to discover that the cleanup will not work at the last minute when you are saving the files to send to your client. Then you can detect problems beforehand. You can spot and predict problems and workload to solve those problems beforehand, before starting the project. For example, problems to generate the translated file due to special characters inside your source files, or layout issues due to text expansion, because in pseudo translation, the text is expanded on purpose so that you can see where the layout will be broken, like text boxes, text overlapping pictures, and so on. So you can calculate how much workload you will need at the end to adjust those things. Layout issues with fonts and diacritics and accented characters, because it inserts all possible accented letters in the pseudo translation. So it's used for that, for very quickly detect problems that you don't want to be aware of only at the last minute. One more possibility, you can pseudo translate the text into a language with a different alphabet. Like I translated into Chinese. If you are Chinese, you can translate into a Roman alphabet language. And then you can very easily, very clearly spot the parts that are not extracted for translation. For example, if it's a table that you believe will be translated, but it's actually an image of a table. And, or it's not subtitled, the description of a picture in your text that you believed it was text, but it's actually part of the picture, and then it's not extracted for translation. If you have hundreds of pictures in your files and hundreds of situations like that, you want to know about it beforehand so that you can discuss with your client how this will be translated, how this will be charged, because those texts are not extracted and are not counted in analysis. So that's what a pseudo translation can be used for. Export and import bilingual. You can use it to get word table like this with source and target and the other columns too. And then you can send it to a translator who doesn't work with Wordfast, and then they can review the translation or even translate it from scratch if you like. And then once you receive the translated table, just make sure to remind your reviewer or translator not to touch anything else except the target language. Actually, they can enter notes as well, but do not touch the source column. And then once you receive the reviewed table, you can import it back into Wordfast, and all the updates, all the changes will be updated in your project. Now, very quickly, some other possibilities here. Segment changes report. You can, if you have files that went to translation, then review and proofreading, you can get a segment changes report to see what changed from and who did the changes from phase to phase. And in the advanced tab, you have lock and unlock segments, which is available in pre-translation, in analysis and pre-translation too. Swap, source, and target. If you have a clients to which you translate in both directions, like English to Portuguese and Portuguese into English, once you finish a job, you may want to send the translations into the segments into two different translation memories in two different directions. So you can take the TXLF, clean it up into the translation memory, into one translation memory, then swap source and target, and clean it up into the other translation memory to feed both of them. Split and merge TXLFs. If you have a very big TXLF, and it's making the program heavy, it's making it slow, or if you want to send the parts to different translators, you can use split and merge to split it in parts, in different parts, in multiple parts, and send to different translators, or to translate one by one and don't have the slowness caused by very big files. Now, asset centralization, sharing, and access control. This regards anywhere and server. It's possible through anywhere or server, with the difference that anywhere is all cloud-based, all online, and server is on-premise. As I said, it's not a server, it's a program, and you have it on your own server, on your own computers. Uh, I'll focus here on Wordfast server, and because it's less now than Wordfast anywhere, and also because it's frequently chosen by LSPs and corporations because um, some some corporations are very concerned about storing their material online. So they prefer to have WordFast server to have full control on that. And depending on the volume of translations, the size of your projects, WordFast server will be more suitable than anywhere. Uh, and I won't be going too deep into details because you have a previous webinar on YouTube. Let me know if yeah, you can see this. This is a previous webinar you can find in our YouTube channel, WordFast TM YouTube channel, about WordFast server specifically, in which Philippe Loquet, our colleague, uh, really went deep into WordFast server and can give you much more detail about the program. And also, if you go to WordFast server in wordfast.com, if you go to products, WordFast server, you can find quick start guides to guide you in configuring WordFast server if you want to test it. As the other tools, you can download and use it in demo mode and test it extensively before making any decision, any purchase decision. What is very cool about WordFast server is that it's very powerful. It can handle really big translation memories, millions of TUs, tens, hundreds of users, and it's very light, very simple. Um, of course, you need your IT team or you need IT knowledge to configure your environment to run WordFast server, like opening the necessary ports, configuring your firewall to not to block WordFast server, configuring your antivirus not to block WordFast server. But once you do that and get WordFast server running, it's very easy to configure and to use. You basically create your translation memories. They are saved on your computers or on your server as TXT files. You configure glossaries optionally because you necessarily need a translation memory, but glossaries are optional. And then you configure accounts uh, connected to a translation memory necessarily and a glossary optionally, and then you decide if for that account the TM and the glossary will be writable or not, and then you get an account URL for your translators to connect to Wordfast server via Wordfast Pro, Wordfast Classic, Wordfast Anywhere. And depending on the option you choose here in this drop down, you can set it to be available only in your LAN, in your local network, or to be available via your IP address. You can allow translators to connect to those files specifically, to those resources specifically, via a port on your computer. Again, everything remains on your premises. They are not sent to an external server, but you can allow translators from anywhere in the world to connect to those specific databases. And then here you have two possibilities. You can make TMs and glossaries writable so that for all your translators, so that they can work together and in real time update your translation memories and glossaries. Or if you want, you can instead uncheck those boxes and create an account and a URL for your translators to use the translation memory, receive matches, and also do concordance searches on those TMs, but not update them. And then you create a separate account with a writable TM, writable glossary for your project managers to update the translation memory only at the end when it's fully reviewed and finished. You have both possibilities, so you control access and writing rights through the accounts tab. In WordFast, in the other WordFast tools, for example, here in WordFast Pro, the translator will be able to enter the URL in the relevant field and then click test, and this will fill all the other fields. They don't have to manually enter all the other information. And then if all is well, they will be able to connect. They will receive this connection successful message in WordFast Pro. And then you have the matches. They have matches from the remote TM, just the same way they would receive from a local TM. Of course, here is just me playing alone with WordFast server. But if I were in a team working in a project, uh, I would be able to see here who was the creation user, the modification user of this segment, when it was translated, and so on. And one advantage of using a shared TM instead of pre-translating the project is that if you just pre-translate the project, you are inserting only the highest matches, and then the translator, if they are working on a project for weeks, for example, they only receive the highest match from the time it was analyzed. Instead, if you share a translation memory, they can, if there are updates to the translation memory, uh, those updates will be instantly available for the translators, and they can also do searches on the TM, like searching for a specific term or phrase, and then see all the results, all the segments containing that in the translation memory, even if it's not a fuzzy match or an exact match. And that's very interesting. And also they can see all the matches, not only the the highest matches that are inserted in pre-translation. Now, another thing that made WordFast Server even more uh, useful nowadays is that you can do some things in WordFast Server that are not possible in WordFast Pro. For example, machine translation, you are able to connect to several machine translation services in WordFast Pro, but it's hard to set customized machine translation, and this is possible in WordFast Server. And then you work on WordFast Pro, but receive suggestions from customized machine translation via WordFast Server. The same with AI. You can connect. This is not possible in WordFast Pro, but in WordFast Server you can connect to different AI services, or even to a customized internal in-house AI service. And then you can use it not only to translate, but for different you have different prompts available, predefined prompts, or you can even configure your own prompts to use AI in the most creative ways you can think of. And now, very quickly, as I'm running out of time, in WordFest Anywhere, you are able to manage projects and assign tasks um, to linguists. So you can take a project and uh, create steps, phases, stages like translate, revise, proofread, QA. And you can also create steps like if you have specific phases in your workflow, you can add them here and then assign to translators. Uh, then when assigning the task, you can define job rate, the job deadline, etc. You can include that information in a purchase order. There is a purchase order template that you can edit, and then this is sent along with the task to the translator. And then in the task, you can configure translation access to translation memories, glossaries, etc. And then the translator will be able to will receive the task and will be able to complete it. And then you can uh, follow the project progress via this screen, in which you see the percentage of each task that has already been completed. And once one phase is completed, you can move it to the next phase, to the next task, uh, to the next linguist, or you can set WordFast Anywhere to do it automatically. So once translation is done and the project is moved to the reviewer, to the proofreader, etc. Okay, this is very cool. It is available in WordFast Anywhere only because it's something that needs to be done online, uh, so that you can automate all these sending and receiving and assigning tasks. Okay. So that's it. We covered all the features I had in mind that I suppose are useful for project managers, LSPs, and corporations in general. And now I think we still have 5 minutes to answer questions. And anyway, if I'm not able to answer all your questions here, you can contact me via email, and I'll be glad to reply to you. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Reginaldo. Thank you so much. Well, I think you can see the question box too, right?
I
There.
don't.
You don't?
Let me see.
Because
Oh yeah, now
uh,
I can. Yeah.
okay, wait.
Uh,
Because well, first of all, I want to add that Wordfast Anywhere is included for those who already have a license of Wordfast Classic and Pro. So Wordfast Anywhere is They are included, if you didn't know. So if you don't have those other licenses, you just go and purchase the month or the whole year that you want to use with Wordfast Anywhere. And then, Martin Chamorro, can you see that the TM update is done from a TXLF file or from somewhere else? No, that's
Yeah,
the first.
it's always from TM update. Sorry, it's always from the TXLF files. You can in quick tools you can add multiple files, but there are multiple TXLF files, and then update the translation memory.
Okay. Just tell us if that is okay for you, Martin. Also, Martin says, can I, as a single freelancer user, use Wordfast Server in order to bring AI into Wordfast Pro? Also,
Yes, absolutely. That's a reason for freelancers. One more reason for freelancers to use Wordfast Server, because if they want to connect to AI in WordFast Pro, you need to do it via WordFast Server. And then for up to two simultaneous connections, you can use WordFast Server for free. So you can, for example, share a job with a colleague with WordFast Server and also connect to AI.
it's up to 2 more users or 3. 2?
I'm sure about 2, maybe
Okay.
3 as well, but I haven't
Um,
tested with 3.
or maybe Philip that is there can tell us. Wait. With a small team, yes. Guillermo, could you please go through a typical review sign-off process by different users of WordFast Pro? Example, one user translate a project, then another one review it, and the former needs to see what the changes by the letter were in order to sign off and deliver the files to the client. Did you follow? Because this is kind of long.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, here. Some projects different users WordFast Pro. One user translates a project and another one reviews it, and the form needs to see what changes by the letter. Yeah, I won't be able to simulate a process like that, but it's not that complicated. You if it's translated by one user, then the other. Oh yeah, yes, I can show you something. In no, I can't because I removed all the all the files. Okay, but basically, at the bottom of your uh, TXLF editor, there is the pane for TM lookup and some other panes. One of those panes is segment history. And then in segment history, you can view the changes made to that segment. And if you want, in the quick tools environment, you have the segment changes report that can use to create a full report of all the changes in your project. There are those 2 possibilities. But unfortunately, I cannot demonstrate the entire process here.
Okay. Jefferson, I was hoping you were gonna talk about a little more about plus tools. We had
Yeah.
for current and WordPress Classic users, Jefferson, we had in March a webinar with our CEO and creator Yves Champollion. If you want to go to our YouTube channel, you can see more webinars about Plus tools, but of course we are going to have more about it. So no worries, please stay tuned, because the next month we are going to organize something about that. Then something, free connection. Yes, it's confirmed that you can have free connection with the server, with the Wordfast server. So
Great.
you don't need to buy server if you have a Wordfast Pro. Yes, Plus tools free to use. Yes, Eve is telling us, please go to our website. I don't know if you can see each comment, so I will add. I will
Yeah,
add that.
he commented on the questions pane. We can see.
Yes. What else? Can you see any more questions? If someone
No.
want to speak or say something, I can enable your mic. Something that I get here. Philippe said, let me check again the messages. Yes, extract Unix can be done in Wordfast Anywhere also. It can extract Unix and or frequent. That's a comment from Philip. You can do that also in Wordfast Anywhere, not only in Wordfast
Oh,
Pro.
yes. Yes.
Just in case attendees, we cannot see any comments or questions. Or, but I enable that. It's always the same. Well, I'll try to copy here. If you go to wordfast.net, then product, you will find Plus tools. Well, can see Philip. I will enable the mic to Philip. Where are you? There you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Excellent, Reginaldo. Thanks. Yeah, I was just thinking
Thank
now
you.
that you're welcome. Now that folks are mentioning Plus tools in an LSP context, like it was explained in this webinar, what could be interesting is for translation memory editing. So if you want to do some in-house cleaning of translation memories, some operations, if you want to anonymize some content of your translation memory, all that. So that's one of the reasons why Plus Tools has been developed, is to manage that. And that's a powerful tool. It's not going to make your computer slow because it's not using a lot of RAM. So it's a good tool to be able to manage your translation memories.
Okay, good.
Great. Thank you, Philippe.
I added the link to the site on the chat box. I think everybody can see that. Tell me if you don't. Caroline, yes, thank you. Well, I can turn on my camera. So, telling you all, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. You're always registered for our webinars. I can see new people. Most of you, I know that you always are here for us. Stay tuned, because we are planning more and more webinars for the second part of the year. So follow our social media, stay tuned, and we will send you more news very soon. I think that's all. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Reginaldo, you were great. Thank you. Goodbye,
You're
and
welcome.
see you next time. Bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you. Bye bye.